Hey, what's up, guys? This is Sean again. I'm here on the Tamra Wade Show, and I'm here with Chris Johnson, VP of Marketing for the Tamra Wade team. Chris, it's always a pleasure to be here to set and co-host with you on this show. Thanks for being with me, bud.
Anytime.
So today, I think what we're going to talk about, and we were talking about this off air, you wanted to go over strategic market studies in the market out there. And I want you to, because that's kind of a big word for a lot of people.
Yeah, so strategic market studies it's taking the time to step back wherever you are in the process, whether you are looking at a potential piece of land to buy, to build on, if you're in the new construction side of the industry. It's looking at a community that may be currently up and running and you see something changing in your sales patterns. Mm-hmm. And you're trying to say, well, what's going on here? What's changed? And so it's, again, taking the time to dive in, look at the market, look at your competitors, looking at the resale environment, looking at all the pieces and parts to that puzzle so that you can get a good feel and a good assessment of what actually is going on.
So, of course, I mean, just on the surface, I just say to where, you're spending the money the right way, plus, I guess, in the end, for builders, because y'all deal with so many builders, it's going to be the difference in being able to hang around for 2 or 3 years versus folding up shop if it gets too pricey, right?
Well, yeah, it helps you to make the right decisions on the front end when you're looking at it from a land purchase standpoint of what product should we be building out there. What are consumers looking for?
Yep.
Are they looking for 2-story homes, ranches, basements, townhomes? What are the features that they're looking for in those homes, and what is the competitive market offering as standard versus what they're charging for as upgrades? And then one of the biggest things is the pricing. So there's a couple different levels in there. I like to say one's the food court, so where you can go and you can find everybody within that price range, and then you start to have your higher tiers of, well, here's a couple competitors here that are offering something over and above what most everyone else is doing, and where do you fit in that puzzle? And if you pick a particular product in a particular price range, how many homes can I expect to sell in a given month? Because that gives me an idea of how long I'm going to be in that cycle within that particular community.
Yeah. Now, do you guys, if you have a builder approach you today, you can help them with these type of things, especially if it's somebody that's just like getting into the industry? Because I know, the big boom before the crash in 08, 09, of course, this is looking very similar from before. So even if somebody comes to you guys today, you can help them with these things to get even more granular down to the dollars, right?
Yeah, we can, and it's going to help them. It's going to help to protect them, from one standpoint. Protects you from saying, oh, maybe I shouldn't buy there because I can't get the sales pace I need. I can't get the dollar amount I need. I can't build the product based on that topography. It's going to protect you as a builder from making bad investments. It also helps you to be able to, when you do make an investment, to know what you're going to get out of it and to have some idea of what to expect. So and we can start looking, hey, what are municipalities doing that's going to affect this market? So we can say, hey, they're going to do a moratorium on sewer taps. So if you want to do this deal, you got to hurry up and get this done. So you can not be left out in the cold and stuck with a piece of property for a few years you can't build on.
So it's not based on what you're telling me today, because before we talked about this, I knew nothing of what you just said. I never really thought more than, okay, you pay this amount for the lot and you build it for this and you make this, but way more into it than that. So it's the short term and the long term. So getting positioned quick enough sometimes to beat certain things, but to know that, okay, what if, worst case scenario, what if you were there for 3 years? Let's just choose a number, 3 years. What if things turn in the next year, interest rates go up, pricing, for the housing drops? You got to be positioned right to where, you're going to be in it for the long haul. So, and I think sometimes is just in any industry, when when the economy's this good, people just spend.
That's
and
right.
they don't think about those things. So that's interesting that you guys are talking about these kind of things, because I think the normal person like myself out there, I don't think about those things for the builders.
Yeah, I mean, there's two sides to it. There's the science side, which is the facts and the figures.
Mm-hmm.
It's, this is what everything says today, and then the art of it is being able to look into your crystal ball and be predictive about a particular market and saying, this is based on everything we're seeing and based on what history has done, this is where we think it's really going to be.
Yep.
Now, none of us can be true, fortune tellers.
Yeah.
We do our very best based on the information we have available to us and based on what we know has happened in a market. But if something does change, if interest rates go high really quickly, or we end up with an economic crash of some sort that we maybe saw coming, but it came before we thought it would, these types of studies help you to reposition quickly and effectively so that you can minimize loss, so that you can maximize sales and profit going forward, and help adapt to what the buyers and the consumers in that area are now needing.
Yeah, that's great that it's that deep with it, because like you said, position yourself, even if you have to, like a year from now, if market crashes, if you know your numbers, then you can lower pricing, or in some cases raise pricing. And I guess it depends on area and location. I know before we got on air, if you're in a high-end area, that can make it even tougher, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about just a few thousands here and there. We're sometimes maybe hundreds of thousands, depending on the situation, right?
That's right. I mean, there are some parts of town, in Atlanta specifically, where we are, so much of the land, as you move toward the interior of Atlanta, has been bought up.
Yeah.
And the land that is there is truly coming at a premium.
Yeah.
And so before you're going to come into that area and you're going to say, look, I'm going to buy those lots for $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 per site, whatever it may be, you got to really know what you're going to do, what your strategy is for getting homes sold, because otherwise you're going to be left sitting there holding some really expensive property and maybe some homes that you can't move, and that's never a good formula.
Yeah, and even if a company or a business has even deep enough pockets to handle that, still though, good business is good business, knowing the numbers like that. Man, thanks for filling me in on this today. Like I said, before we had this show, I knew nothing about market studies like that. I thought it was just, okay, let's go find the right situation, the right pricing, but it's so much more of that.
There's a tremendous strategy to it. That's why, we call them strategic market studies, because it helps to set the stage, helps to protect you, and helps you make the best decisions possible to make the most money possible in this industry.
That's great, guys. All right. Enjoyed it again.
A pleasure as always.
It's the Tamra Wade Show, another episode. Stay tuned for more. Have a good one.